Oh my goodness, these Hydra teams are gonna be crazy. What's up guys, MtgJedi, how you doing this morning? I am so hyped from the Clan Boss Hydra draft. I spent so much time preparing for that draft. It was unreal. I did mock drafts. I made spreadsheets. I am getting lost in the game here. I had lists. I did so many things to prepare for this Hydra draft, okay? I want to give a big shout out to my mom, actually. You would never guess my mom was able to help me with this draft, but when I was trying to explain it to her, what she suggested was I get a piece of paper and I write all of the names on it and then cross them off. You can't really see that, but I did that and it really helped me. It let me see what champions were available left in the draft and what champions were not. So big shout out to my mom. She's probably not going to watch this video, but that's okay. But that really helped me, okay? So when we're doing Hydra, you can see that there's so many champions that are the same in these teams. So many. It's just like we all use the same champions for the most part. And, you know, as content creators, we try to find cool new champions to use. But in this Hydra draft, there were so many picks. There's 8 of us. There's 48 picks. So we had to, like, get super creative, dig deep in the tank, and figure out what champions were available that we could use, what order should we pick them in, all of these things, okay? So, the first thing, oh, I was already on that screen. The first thing that I want to do is run my Hydra keys today. But you can actually see my Nightmare Hydra team here. This is, I don't know, that might be a new record for me. I might need to double check. I've been trying to keep track of how much damage that I'm doing, so I know if I make a new record. That's been difficult for me for some reason. But what I want to do is I want to come in here and I want to set up a team for the draft that I did. So my first pick was Cardial. No. My first pick was Raid's not letting me move the screen. Okay, cool. Hold on a second. Okay, my first pick was not Cardial. My first pick was Mighty Uko. And one of the things that we figured out, big shout out to my dude Roz. He was a huge help in prepping and doing this draft. My first pick was Mighty Uko. And Uko here, we really felt that there were so few block buffs champions that we needed to prioritize a block buffs champion very highly in the draft. The only exception for that is if I would have gotten one of the first couple picks, I would have taken Duchess or Krisk. Krisk was my #1 overall pick. I think he's just insane, and I'm a little worried about the Duchess and Krisk teams. But I still love my Uko pick because, again, he's one of the best block buffs champions. He's going to bring decreased attack, he's going to bring the block buffs, and he has the revive, okay? Also, he can strip buffs if they are able to steal buffs or put buffs up. Then the second pick, which was clutch, because Scratch was definitely going to take this. And I took that from him before he could. My second pick was Cardial. And that Cardial pick was really clutch for me because I think it kind of solidifies my whole strategy. It holds everything together. He's going to allow me to build my teams completely different, right? because of the increased crit rate, increased crit damage. So I'm not going to need to build everybody with 100% crit rate, because I'm going to build Cardial ridiculously fast, and I'm going to try to keep that buff up the whole time. Okay, now after that, my plan went to crap. Okay, after that, my plan went to crap, and I was so disgruntled. Okay, the whole idea, is she even out here? The whole idea was to get Cardial and Cecia. Okay, that was the whole idea, was to get her and use this duo. I did not have a pick order that allowed me to pick basically back to back. And so in that gap, OddOne stole Cecia from me. And then everyone else proceeded to steal Venus and Lydia, which were the other two backup plans for Cecia. So we ended up pivoting. And one of the champions that I think is super underrated in Hydra is Tunisia, because she brings a ton of damage. Now, the thing is, I've never personally used her in Hydra, so I'm a little nervous about it because she's squishy, but we do have a reviver. We do have the revive on death, so I'm hoping that we can use her effectively, but I know other people have. Like, I think Ash did a video on using her in Brutal or Nightmare Hydra. I know other people have used her well, so if you have, I would love advice on builds for her or any other champion on the list. After that, we knew that I wanted to try out Terrace, okay? I recently just got him, and if I could figure out where he's at, I was really excited to use him because I'm going to have all these buffs, and we'll get to more buffs in a second. I'm going to have all these buffs, and so that's going to make him smack hard. Also, with being an HP-based champion, he's going to be good and survivable, and so he was my fourth pick, and that was good because Scratch was going to try to take him as well, or somebody else. He was definitely on the radar of a couple people. I'm excited to see him as a damage dealer. Yes, I know I'm bringing all the Void Legos, but you know, it is what it is, and we have some other sweet picks here in a second. The next pick, who is going to be really, really important to my team, but we had to really think hard. Like, I was messaging Roz, like, who are we going to take here? And I said, what about Ragash? Now, if you don't know, Ragash was my very first, like, 4-star blessing, I think. Yeah, 3-star. He was my very first one. Like, my very first Soul Stone pull, I got this 3-star blessing for Ragash. So that's going to be really helpful. Hilariously, there was a soul in the market today for Cardial, but it's on the test server, so that's not going to matter. Ragash does some really important things for us, on this team at least. So, what he's going to do is, obviously, he's going to do the decreased defense. Okay, that's clear. But in addition to that, he also has this increased defense buff on himself, and he's going to do this as well. So what I think is going to happen is that he can be a backup mischief tank, okay? But I do have another option as a mischief tank, so that's going to be my last pick. But actually, I could see myself switching out my last pick for somebody else if he works out well enough as a mischief target. Okay, so who is that last pick? Well, it's going to take me some time to find that champion, so I'm going to pause the video here and go find him because I don't even know where he is in my inventory. Alright, there we go. He's leveled up, but he doesn't have gear on, and that's Dundan. This guy has a really, really cool kit, and I'm super excited to use him. All right, so what does he do that's important? The first thing is going to be this A3. On a 3-turn cooldown, he places 3 buffs on himself, and it makes the mischief head target him. At least that's what he's supposed to do, so we'll see. But this is going to be so good, okay? And then on his A1, he has a 50% chance of removing a random buff from all allies. That's actually 60%, and we can get it to 65. But he's going to be counterattacking with that. Man, if this was an AoE, that would be insane. He's also an HP-based champion, so he's going to be survivable. And then he has an AoE shield that's going to be another buff, another survival, and it increases the duration of all buffs on all allies by a turn. So we should have our buffs up the whole fight, I hope. Okay? Anyway, I'm pretty excited about this team. Let's name it Hydra Draft Team. And I'm going to be building this team out on the test server, so I will have access to the full gear on my account. And so we are going to pull out the stops here, and we're going to gear this team to the nines. We are going to hook it up. I'm really excited to see how much damage we can do here, and I think that this could be a viable strategy for a lot of people. And then, obviously, if you want to use Cardiel and Cecia, or you can replace people on this team, but this is going to be a cool, new, viable strategy for people, I think, okay? And if nothing else, what you should take away from this is that Dundan, that dude, he's going to be good. I really believe that, okay? So, let's go over a couple more things before we wrap up the video. Over on DeadwoodJedi.com, you can see all of the competitors here. We have OddOne, myself, YST, Nub, Cold Brew, Scratch, Hell Hades, and then Deadwood as well. You can see all of our teams, which we're going to look at in a second. But most importantly, please, after you watch this video, go vote for the teams, because that's going to determine where we're placed. All right, that's going to determine our matchups, is how good you think our teams are, right? So if you want to vote for me, I'd appreciate it. But if you don't, then vote for whoever you think, okay? I won't hold it against you. It's fine. So let's take a quick look at the teams here, because that's the whole point of this video, is the teams. So let's go ahead and take a look here at OddOne's team. Is super interesting. He has the increased speed, decreased speed with Nikmo. He has my Cecia with the decreased defense and weaken. She has the HP burn, the HP burn explosion. He has Soulless to provoke and strip buffs. He has Tatora to protect from the Fearhead. He has Ursula for decreased attack and revive. I never personally liked her. And then he has Ruel for damage. But what he's really missing on this team is block buffs, which he does not have. And he does not also have, like, top tier damage dealers. He's got Cecia, Soulless, and Ruel, which can combine to do some good damage, but I would not be surprised if he swaps Ruel out for somebody else. Like, not having block buffs on this team is pretty rough, okay? Then you can see my team there. It's exactly as I said. If you if you're not following me on YouTube, you can click the subscribe button there, but you have a subscribe button everywhere else as well. So YST's team is pretty scary, I think. He has Tuhanarok, which is one of the best champions in the game for Hydra. Mishinaki, who's one of the best champions for damage in Hydra. Snicktrack, who can be built for damage and is very underrated. Coronar, who I love in Hydra. I've used Coronar a ton. My question mark in this team is going to be Drang. I'm not even sure he needs Drang in the team. And obviously Marichka is ridiculous. Who is he going to build as a mischief target? I don't know. And then he's a little bit cold to the Fearhead, but he has 2 Honorok to, like, do the cleanses. I don't know. YST's team seems legit to me. Nub took Mythrala first, and that was shocking. Nobody saw that coming as a first pick with Mythrala. Second pick, Ugo, was insane. She went so late. Third pick, Shamail, was insane. I thought he was going to go in the first round. Mother Cybele, that makes sense. Nub loves her. I'm not that big of a fan. Godseeker, I think he just wanted a reviver, and she's going to extend the buffs from Sibel and Mythrala, and then Ninja for some damage in here. But I'm not seeing how Nub is going to get the damage numbers. Like, he's got a decent layout for his team. I'm just not seeing how he's going to get the damage. Cold Brew's team is terrifying. I am scared of Cold Brew's team. I think he has one of the best teams with Krisk plus Sifi. Sifi went in round 3. I thought she was going to go in round 1. But the thing is here, he's going to have a lot of buffs. So we'll see if he can build his team well enough that the buffs don't get stolen. But I think it's Cold Brew. He knows what he's doing. But if you at home try to build this team and you don't build it correctly, you could just be in for a disaster, okay? But, like, Sifi, Krisk, Mashal together is so crazy. I was shocked by the second pick Tila here. I was really shocked. I did not think she was good enough to be picked second, but she is good. And then his other damage dealer is Nishak, which I guess they kind of pair well. We have the HP Bird and the Leech, and then the bombs and the poisons. And then by Vault as the last pick there was nice. I feel like that filled out pretty well. But again, he's missing block buffs also. Nobody on his team does block buffs. Nobody on his team steals buffs. I mean, I guess you could steal buffs with Mashald. I don't know. So, although his team is insane, he is missing a key piece, which normally we would just run Ugo in here. I guess he doesn't really have decreased defense either. Interesting. I mean, you're going to get decreased defense from Krisk, but it's not up 100% of the time. Huh. Maybe his team's not as good as what I thought. Scratch, everybody's worried about Scratch, because Scratch has the craziest gear, and he's going for this Trunda cheese strategy. Like, after first picking Duchess, the second pick Supreme Gallic was sick, and then of course he stole Lydia from me. Sheesh. Skull Lord, insane. But then the Kymar pick. Oh man, I swear he was gonna pick another damage dealer here. I'm super skeptical about the Kymar pick, but it's Scratch. His gear's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that he is the favorite to win, but I'm not 100%. Hell Hades started off with Husk, and then switched to Venus and Cupidus. I liked the Pinthroy pick and the Elva pick. Those are both excellent. And then he tried to fill in the Martyr with decreased defense. Right? Let's look at her kit real quick. A1 decreased defense, increased defense and counterattack, and then the decreased attack and provoke. And, like, Martyr does a lot for this team, but man, how is he going to not get all of his buffs stolen? At least he'll have Pinthroy for block buffs, but I don't think Pinthroy's the right affinity for this rotation. So, I don't know about all this. I'm really interested to see what he does. I mean, Cupidus is going to get a bunch of counterattacks. So, that's like a non-bow with Martyr. Like, you can't counterattack. Just, you always counterattack with Venus Cupidus. So, Martyr having counterattack on Cupidus does actual nothing. But then the counterattacks on the other champions will help. But it's not as good as what it appears. But, like, it's Hell Hades. Like, he knows what he's doing, obviously. And like the Elva pick was sick, I think. That really helped him here. That Elva pick was sick. And then last but not least, we have Deadwood. I felt bad for Deadwood because he just had a really hard time running the draft and picking. So that made it really difficult on him. But he started off with two of the best damage dealers here. Then he got Cantra and Lady Kimmy. He filled in Pythion as a reviver, who's going to be good with the buffs from Kimmy. But then, I don't know about this Dythy pick. That's a little sketchy to me. But he can always, if he's going to replace somebody on his team, it's probably going to be Dythy. But I just don't know if Pythion's enough to be survivable. Like, he really doesn't have anybody to help with survivability except Pythion. There's no shields. There's no, like, you're relying on Cantra and Kimmy for block buffs. I don't know. Like, Deadwood's team, like, he has the damage dealers, but he doesn't have the right mix of support. I don't know. Like, there wasn't a lot of options, so Dythy might be his best pick. But anyway, that's all the teams. I'm a little bit long-winded here today. But let me know what you think about my team and all the other teams in the comments below. And please vote. Vote, vote, vote. Today, don't put it off. And let me know what you think about all this. I'm so excited to share more things about this. Thank you, Deadwood, for hosting this. I'll see you guys later today for pulling some shards.